It's hard to imagine for most of us what it's like not to be able to work, not to be able to find a job, not to have skills, and to be looked upon as a drain on society.
I graduated in 2009, which was just after the financial crisis, and that was a really tough time for everyone. In the end, I think I applied for over 200 different jobs in a span of about 6 to 9 months. And I remember an example where I showed up to a job interview and the hiring manager came to the lobby, and as soon as they saw me, I could just see their body language drop.
When I graduated, I applied for some jobs and I just wasn't getting email back.
Historically, people with disabilities have been underpaid for their performance and pigeonholed into specific jobs when they could bring a whole lot more to the table.
Dodd Institute actually was started as a sheltered workshop in the West End of Atlanta in the late 50s, early 60s. And it was basically a training program for the most severely disabled, and gave them work training and some prospects for employment afterwards.
We took the warehouse that was sitting pretty much idle when I arrived and began to look at how we might reimagine the work that was being done.
We are currently at 50 different sites across the southeastern United States and to 4 different lines of businesses. In all of our lines of businesses, we partner with different federal government agencies, state agencies, and then commercial enterprises here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. COVID has highlighted the need to shift the responsibility of the business leaders from specifically to the bottom line to providing the most high quality work environment that you can provide to the employees to ensure longevity and a self-sustaining career.
I enjoy not just coming to work, I enjoy coming just to be with everybody. It's good to have something to do, somewhere to go. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The number one thing is I like the paycheck.
And we should all be clear that these people are doing the jobs, all of the tasks that they have been assigned. They may get accommodations here and there, but by and large, they are doing these jobs and doing these jobs well.
It allows them to engage socially in their community, socially in their workforce. It also relieves the burden of the government programming. So if we are able to move folks from government-funded programs to self-sustaining jobs where they can support themselves, then it is a win-win for both the individual, the community, and the government partners.
We're employing people that have disabilities to come and work with us, that nobody else would want to hire them.
A majority of our group on the business services side have been internal promotions, where a lot of our group has started as contract managers or custodians or landscapers and been able to move up into leadership positions within the organization. And these are people with disabilities who may not have had a job outside of BDI providing the opportunity for them.
Which actually strengthens the economy and strengthens our workforce. And it really is a way to let that person thrive as an individual and really not be seen as an individual or a person with a disability, but just a team member and an employee.
When you can train someone and get someone ready for work, give them assistance and work supports, and help them become successful, it's life transformational.
Yeah, when I got my first job, honestly, it felt like Christmas and my birthday rolled into one, because I think it required a lot of perseverance. After getting so many rejections, so many no's, to finally get that yes was a pretty awesome feeling. And in my situation, it was actually the job that I thought I had the least chance of getting.
Hiring people with disabilities is such an important part of what we can do just in the labor market overall.
I want to see more people get employed and they be fulfilled in their employment. Fulfilling employment doesn't have to be a 9-to-5 job. Fulfilling employment for someone with a disability may be something where they come in on a condensed schedule, but they are really getting something out of it, and so is that business.
I don't look at it as obstacles. I look at it as you just have to figure things out, with those people and see what they do really well, and then try to figure out what the job needs to get done and make sure it's a good fit, just like you would, with any kind of position in the organization.
People with disabilities not only filling jobs, but filling jobs well, again, using their strengths, we ultimately strengthen the larger economy, including in parts of the economy where there are particularly these struggles during crises, whether that is a warehouse in manufacturing, customer services. Those are the parts of the economy that are essential.
There is a need for more employees. It's one of the largest, minority groups in the country are people with disabilities. There's a wonderful opportunity in which to engage more people with disabilities, bring them into the workforce, and have them, take on more and more responsibility and bigger jobs.
We're uniquely designed because we've had to experience a very different type of life. And through experiencing that type of life, we build resilience, creativity, innovation. And so if you want to tap into that for whatever it is that you're creating within your company, then definitely consider your next hire being a person with a disability.
But when we start thinking of it from that strengths-based approach, I think they quickly see that. They just have to basically open their minds to see not just what their perceived challenges are, but what the potential strengths might be of the population.
It's good to show that disability people can work, live on the road.
My hat's off to my crew. They can do anything that they want to do or we encourage them to do.
Well, it's important for a business to hire a person with disabilities to give them the experience to show that they can do the job. And if once they've shown the job and you trained them, there's no disability. It's all about abilities.
They may not be able to do certain things at home, but when they come to work with other people, like they are, they can understand how to do it, and then when they go home, they can practice it at home, what they don't learn from the job.
I use my disability as an advantage. My disability is what helps me connect with others, what helps me understand them, what they need. So once you meet me in person, then you get me. Okay, this disability that may be seen as a hindrance or burden is actually a skill set that not everybody's gonna have.
People with disabilities bring a completely different perspective of the workplace. It changes the culture, it changes the individuals that you work with, and they provide unique solutions to problems that business leaders may not have thought about previously.
They stay longer at agencies. They create that historical knowledge that actually saves companies money because they're not having to recruit, they're not having to retrain, and then they create these almost ambassadors for their own company.
I believe it is a lot of kind of misplaced fears that people have in that they think accommodations for a person with a disability are far more than the actuality may be. I think there are a lot of people who are just, they may not have had a lot of exposure to a person with a disability in their own lives. And so they're afraid of saying something wrong or doing something that may be perceived incorrectly.
There's the misconception around the dollar amount or the number of accommodations that are typically needed to employ a person with disability. What we found and what studies have shown is that dollar amount is typically a lot lower than people think, usually less than $500 over the life cycle of an employee's tenure at the organization. And the accommodations are typically relatively small. Something as simple as maybe a visual enhancement device for their monitor, a different style keyboard, or even a different seat to make someone comfortable at their desk are examples of the small types of accommodations that employers can make to ensure a quality work environment for people with disabilities.
Personally, working with veterans and individuals with disabilities has taught me, of course, more patience, more understanding, to be more sympathetic and compassionate. Working with veterans and specifically has taught me that not everybody handles things or deals with things in the same manner, that we have to learn to adapt and overcome.
And coming out of the military, you thinking everybody wears the same thing, same uniform, and we all got one mission. And then entering the civilian world, And working with personnel with disabilities, I found that we all have the same one mission, and that's completing the mission. And it's working great for me.
People with disabilities, when they get into an employment job and you provide the accommodations and you provide the environment in which they will thrive, you will have an employee for life. Our community reduces turnover, increases efficiencies, and provides a valuable perspective on the products and services that a for-profit enterprise might be selling to the community.
Also, there are tax benefits that a business can receive from hiring a person with a disability that oftentimes outweigh any kind of accommodation costs.
We had less turnover, I'm going to be honest, when I had people that we worked with within Bobby Dodd, or people with disabilities, because they appreciated being at work. They appreciated the fact that, somebody gave them an opportunity. They enjoy their time at the job, and that kind of goes off to the other employees. You just have to be open to the idea. You have to be open to the process. You have to be open to doing something different and give it a chance.
They're loyal, they show up for work, and they work really hard. And you can't always say that about everybody else in the workforce.
Let's employ more people with disabilities to whatever level of disability they have. Now, there's some folks with disabilities that may not be able to do everything, but they can do something.
Look at the individual and what they can bring to your business, and trying not to look at that disability as an inhibitor, but potentially bringing a lot more into your business as opposed to costing your company.
I feel that we as a nation have finally embraced people with disabilities. And I think we can do more. This is a good start.
Change just takes time, but it comes from everybody working on it.
I just truly believe our role as an organization that has taken this on as a mission is to not only work with our clients, but also be there to help support our employers. And in those relationships, help them overcome their fears, help them recognize that it always might be a little bit harder, but the rewards far offset any additional kind of expense or effort that it might take.